I cannot believe this. This is absolutely insane. But the New York Knicks, over the offseason, tried to pull off what would have been the craziest trade in New York Knicks history that would have backfired so badly, led to the Knicks still trading some key guys, but also not having the team they have now. And we're going to break all of this down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. And guys, if you're enjoying the content, make sure to subscribe. If you're part of that 69% that's not subscribed to Knicks Digest, make sure to hit the button. It really helps me out a ton. We're on that grind, guys. Happy Friday. I hope you guys are enjoying it. We got a lot of news coming out today as well, so stay tuned for a ton of videos. But let's jump into this, guys. This is insane, as shown right here. Leon Rose almost pulled off what would have been the most shocking, absurd move of his New York Knicks tenure, and I'm not going to make you guys wait around for it. You may have seen it already through the thumbnail, but look, as mentioned by Jake Fisher, the New York Knicks were willing to give up every pick they had available for Joel Embiid before making the Mikal Bridges and Karl Anthony Towns trades. Now, shout out to Let's Talk Knicks as well, but Jake Fisher brought this up. And this is absolutely insane to think about. I almost said absurd, mixing insane and absurd, because this would have been nuts. I mean, this would have been absolutely just off the rails had the Knicks made this trade. Now, let's break it down. We know the New York Knicks tried to make some trades over the period of time during the NBA draft. They tried to trade for Karl Anthony Towns, offering a first-round pick, Mitchell Robinson, and Julius Randle in exchange for Towns. The Timberwolves declined that deal, not wanting Mitchell Robinson, who had been dealing with injuries, and they also had a rim-protecting big man already in Rudy Gobert, so they declined that deal from the New York Knicks, which led to the Knicks doing a few other moves instead. First off, starting off by trading for Mikal Bridges. Bridges, since getting acquired by the New York Knicks, absolutely, I cannot find him. Bridges, who was acquired by the Knicks with Karl Anthony Towns, was absolutely a shocking trade. We all knew that there was a lot of rumors for Mikal to the Knicks, and then Mikal told the Nets he wanted to go to the Knicks and that he wouldn't accept a trade anywhere else, because if he did, he would just tell that team he was going to sign with the Knicks in 2 years when he became a free agent anyway, effectively tanking his value so he could only go to the Knicks. The Knicks gave those 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges. Now, a lot of them are not that valuable of picks. They're mostly going to end up in the 20s of the NBA draft. And then also later, trading for Karl Anthony Towns right before training camp, which obviously threw a wrench in everything as well, as both trades were pretty out of the blue and both late at night when Leon Rose decides to cook for the most part. So we saw that go down. We saw the New York Knicks trade for these two guys, emptying out their draft capital in order to do so, but they would have thrown it all away for Joel Embiid. This would have been insane if the Knicks did this. Now, mind you, this is coming off a series where we saw Joel Embiid limping up and down the court, and on top of that, he was still cooking. He was great against the New York Knicks in the 76ers series. We're not going to act like Embiid wasn't doing great. He wasn't dominating Isaiah Hartenstein. Now, Mitchell Robinson found a way to really suppress Embiid, but this would have been nuts to see happen because there was this big rivalry forming. The Knicks took over Wells Fargo Center, embarrassed the 76ers, and then they would have taken their best player, the face of their franchise, along with them. But now looking at this trade, it would have been massively beneficial for the Philadelphia 76ers, as they would have gotten out of Embiid's abysmal contract, as Embiid, as it came out today, routinely needs injections into his knee just to be able to play basketball. The man's managing knee injuries, is probably out for the rest of the season, and this is nothing new from what we've seen from Joel Embiid in the past. I mean, to make this a little bit bigger first, Joel Embiid averages 32.2 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists over the last 124 games he's played, which is the start of the 22-23 season, which is not that many games. It averages out to 41.3, and most of those came in the 22-23 season, where he played 66 games and then won MVP, and then since then played 39 games, played in the playoffs, but was not fully healthy, and the Knicks torched him. And then in this season, he has played 19 games, and his season is likely over. This has been the worst season Joel Embiid's had in a very long time. It appears that his prime might be ending with all these knee injuries, which you don't want to see someone go out like that, but it's hard to have sympathy for a guy who directly injured Mitchell Robinson, and Mitch is still out because of it, though he's going to be returning this weekend, which is absolutely phenomenal news as well. But the Knicks dodged a serious bullet here. Now, as we know, the Knicks were willing to give up all their assets, so they would have had no other moves to make. And on top of that, they would have acquired a contract that's bigger than Karl Anthony Towns'. You thought Towns' contract was causing us problems? This is even worse. The Knicks would have made an absolutely monstrous error by doing this. Now, on top of things, taking a look at what Jake Fisher also mentioned, he said that Philadelphia insists that it isn't pulling the plug or any cord out of the Joel Embiid process just yet. It still views Embiid as the franchise cornerstone. Season-ending injury surgery isn't necessarily destined outcome for Joel Embiid either, as he could make a return still. As insane as it sounds, despite a miserable record of 20-38, Philadelphia awoke Thursday just 2.5 games out of the 10 seed. That gives them a play-in tournament berth where you would have to bet on the 76ers if they're healthy. They have a few different guys on their roster, such as Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, not Paul George, but they have Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, who have led a team through play-in wins before, getting that 7th seed and losing to the Knicks. So they would be able to still make the playoffs and try to make a miracle run that would ultimately fail, because playoff P would come into play and go 1 for 14 from 3 every night, putting up 3 points every single game. So there is that to consider as well. But, well, the 76ers, they can't get rid of Embiid now. His value's tanked. They're screwed. They should have taken that trade from the Knicks. But the 76ers can't do anything right, so it's led to this. Now here the 76ers go. They're doing their thing. It's just losing and being a miserable embarrassment of a franchise that their fans only have one thing to do, which is try to trash talk Knicks fans. And it's like when you're like getting bit by an ant when you're walking around. It's like, what is this slightly irritating thing going on? What are you? But in all seriousness, 76ers fans are a miserable bunch. There's not much to do about that. On top of this, you look at where the New York Knicks stand, and the Knicks are in very, very, very good position. They still do have a lot of years left under this franchise and under this core that they have going for him, and Embiid would have ruined all of that because he would have never been healthy. They have Mikal and Karl Anthony Towns, and yes, Mikal has not been perfect, but still, they're also figuring it out. They have a 5-year window with all these contracts lining up, and it's worked out very well thus far. They've had the best record they've had in a very long time. They're going to be the 3 seed, and unfortunately, they're going to run into the Celtics in the second round, but it's still a season to be happy about. It's the first season with a new contending team. It's going to take some time. They're going to figure it out. They're going to work out all the issues. They're going to be able to fill the holes that they need to fill, and everything is going to work out just fine for the New York Knicks. Had they traded for Joel Embiid, that would not have been the case. So the Knicks dodged a major bullet here. I am skeptical why Leon Rose wanted to do this trade. I'm guessing because of that CAA connection. There was a lot of Joel Embiid to the Knicks noise like a year and a half ago, something like that. So that would make some sense. When I first started with Knicks Digest, there's a lot of hate, or not a lot of hate, there's a lot of noise around Joel Embiid. Well, that didn't end up happening, and now Embiid is going to stick with the 76ers. The 76ers are going to stick with their plan. Lose a bunch of games, be an eternal disappointment as usual. But guys, let me know what you think. Are you happy the Knicks didn't make this trade? How do you feel about where the Knicks are? What do you think of these weird 76ers fans? Let me know all that in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, guys. And yes, if you're trying to read this shirt, I am not a Lakers fan, and I have to make this very clear. I am a LeBron fan, and my cousin bought me this shirt for Christmas, and it's really comfortable. And you know what? I'd wear any basketball team merch if it's comfortable, like this shirt. So shout out my cousin for buying me a great shirt. And she got a new dog, which is pretty cool as well. Guys, have a great day and go Knicks.